told you I'd be back, so here we go. I'm doing a... doing a quick breakdown of some things, and yeah, I'm just checking the energy here. We're gonna get into a quick prayer. I'm gonna call on this Holy Spirit. Holy Father God, please implore your angels to bless and protect me with clarity and deliverance of this general collective energy, so that I may deliver this peacefully and without interruption. In Jesus' name, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Thank you, God. There could be a Leo woman or a woman involved in the mafia here. I see you. I see you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Could also be happiness. Oh, it's Divine Feminine, not the mafia for once. Yay! So... I'm just gonna vibe. Happy New Year to you. Today is the new year. Ushering in blessings, contracts, new beginnings, agreements. This is beautiful. This is super beautiful. Okay. Alright, we're gonna do a quick detour from the cards, and we are going to do a tech show. Because I love popping up on you guys. Like, you thought it was hocus pocus, but it's actually keyboard schmeeboard. Yeah, I've been trying to, like, figure out, like, new things to do with this thing, because I'm obsessed. Like, I love working on this thing. It's, like, the coolest thing ever. I put this thing in my purse and just, like, walk around with it, and people are like, oh, wow, what a neat purse. And it's like, check out this thing. It's a whole computer. People are like, what the fuck is this? It is a laptop. That's what it is. So. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not know how to do my hair. So I just left it in gave up mode, and it looks okay, actually. Yeah, I have so much to do right now. I am. This is the face of experiencing terror. You don't know this, but it is. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this thing does have password protection. It's pretty awesome. Thank you for joining my live. Feel free to tap that screen just like that, so that I know you're actually here and not dead. So, so yeah, we want to get those likes up so more people know that I'm in here. Okay, so let's invite some people. Thank you so much for the comments, the likes. The comments on my videos cracked me up today. I was so happy that a lot of you were happy too. That was really cool. Yeah. So, okay, the thing about, I don't want to co-host with you in your anime avatar. Get out of my face. do you know how busy I am? I'm just kidding. I am busy, but like, no, it's maybe another time, bro. Okay, so... tech show, right? So I don't know if I actually covered this with anyone when I discovered it, because I can't remember if I did a show, right, about this one. But for those of you who are wondering how a lot of the malware vectors were like getting into the tech a little while ago when it came to some of the breaches, thank you, laptop, some of the breaches involving like streaming data, it was streaming data and also I want to say port scanner data, right? Which is like generally like how this would be done in the first place. this particular malware group, it was like APT something, I want to say 23, right, or like a derivative of them. For those of you who don't know what APT23 is or any of the derivatives, these are malware groups that are like collectives, agents of chaos. I say chaos because I don't know how else to describe them. They just come together and they're like, you see all these ports and all the data that's going through them, let's just like pick it up and drop it on our server and let that be the thing, right? So there was a mass data theft thing going on involving port 32 and 33. Now, we're not talking about port 32 and 33 exclusively, we're also talking about the user datagram protocols for this. So this wasn't just TCP protocols that go over ClearNet, these were the user datagram protocols that were like forcefully dismembering the data, which is a good thing because you don't want the data in whole pieces when you're being watched, right? These datagrams were scattering the data, and these ports were being used specifically to collect the scattered data because people were using that for their privacy and their security on purpose. Well, thank you on the co-host, I'll catch you later. So it's like these things were getting harvested left and right for a little while, and a lot of the stuff that was being sent over was like TV streaming data, stuff that you would have in your house, surveillance data, a lot of stuff that was problematic. Now, people were wondering, like, okay, what is the big deal about using a certain datagram protocol or anything like that? The big deal is, with the way that these stream services worked, a lot of that information was being ported over to China and possibly sold, because if you didn't know this, the way that data is manufactured and or sold in China is completely different than what the rules are here in America, for example, or in other parts of the EU that are protected by privacy protection services and parliament agreements. So what this actually means is how do I pose this, right? The streams of data were raw and they were sent to these Chinese servers, possibly formulated into AI projects, possibly sold so that people were able to be located in their own residences, that could easily have linked up with medical data and other data breaches that had occurred over the courses of time. And all of this stuff was happening around the same time, or within 6 years of the latest medical breach that took out like 16 billion accounts at least in 2017 and 2018. So you figure 10 years worth of your blood work, your disease confirmations written down on paper, your HIPAA protected information, your vaccines up to date, when your kids were born, when your grandma died, everything like that compiled into a cumulative data set potentially within the same ranks of hackers, with information that directly streams live footage of you into a server that you have no control of or awareness of. It's kind of a big deal because, like, I was reading papers about it and saw that this type of exposure in the hands of someone who could actually put the data together could mass amount to, like, just death. Like, there's no other reason to have that much data on people that you don't even know if you're not trying to end their lives or extort them for money or blackmail them some other way into slavery, which we all know could easily occur in a country where people are habitually slain for just saying things to the wrong person. Or worse, trafficked into the black market for organ harvesting, which is something I learned in Harvard. So it just makes you think a bit about what the true intentions of a country that backs that kind of behavior would be holding for the intentional use of your data, be it whether or not they have collected it enough to do so, or they haven't quite reached that point. I mean, whether or not they have, it's kind of not something that people should have to be fearing in 2026, but here we are, considering it. So it's something to just put together, consider a bit. Consider a bit. So, I mean, I thought about stuff like that, and I was just like, man, I don't know if I ever did, like, a proper show on that, and I kind of want to get into the threat modeling aspect of this, right? So, supposing, because I kind of broke it down before, but supposing you have a family, right? You have a family, and you are concerned about the welfare of your family. You find out that your family's medical records, all of them, yours included, are leaked to a country that is known for not liking the country that you're from. And on top of that, then you find out your TV streaming service, which is plugged into port XYZ, in this case it was 32 and 33 on a UDP transfer datagram, is feeding live information about like what your TV is studying about you to the same country, potentially for the same use of your data. So the concept of privacy, now that it's totally out the window, also gets coupled with the concept of you being like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what, you know, everything I'm doing from the time I wake up to, like, you know, take my morning piss all the way to the moment I fall asleep in front of my cable TV thing. Like, it's a little unnerving to know that anyone's eyes could be on you at any point, know who you are, and possibly travel across the world to discover who you are based on what they found in a UDP exposure. So like UDP is an alternate port for those of you who aren't like tech savvy. UDP is what like the alternate circumstance for your regular internet traffic would be for the same port numbers. So you would have two sets of numbers. One would be TCP, like what you use for your internet, like, you know, under your web browser or whatever, and then, or better yet, for 32 and 33 it would be your VPNs and your secured networks. Little known fact. Another one is 52 and 53. But alternatively, in the user datagram protocol, you actually have the same or similar things, but it's specifically meant to break up the packets that you're transmitting through the internet into smaller pieces so they're harder to put together. So you have to wonder what exactly was being transported over those protocols for it to then end up as valuable enough to stream out to an alternate server from, I don't know how many hundreds of miles away. You know, so it's kind of like, okay, if China has a hold on this specific set of data, why would they need so much of it, and what would they be using it for at the end of the day? Like, what is the purpose for them to be holding all of that? What would be the intention? Why would they care? Why would they be interested in something like that as an information packet? So we get into then assessing the threat for what they're trying to do. Maybe they're not trying to do anything with it yet. But what it could be is that once they get enough information parsed into neat little folders where everyone is matched up as an identity, this could be a power move to have an entire database of who it is that lives on Earth and who it is they decide they don't want to live on Earth anymore based on the prospect of such a thing. We have to consider that with world power wars. We have to consider the fact that these are the very things that people are considering with that much data collected in your hands. That it's not just a giant photo book like, oh look, we're family. Here's all 16 million of us in this book here, right? It's not like that. It's very much like you have to consider why your head is eligible to be put on a pike at any given notice or moment if you didn't volunteer to do that, and why that would be of interest to another country. So I'm just vibing kind of with the doomer shit right now. But yeah, when it comes down to it, when it comes to tech, a lot of it is very doomerish because it has to do with information transfers that sometimes aren't welcome. They're not like allowed and they're done anyway. But when it comes to tech information defense, like, you know, information security, information privacy practices, data compliance, all sorts of stuff that is set in place to be like, okay, you can and cannot do this with tech because death, right? All of that stuff factors into the decisions that people have or haven't made to preserve privacy, security matters, and technological affairs in favor of people who don't actually know how to use the technology. So it's important to kind of like pay attention to that and see what it ends up meaning long term. And I mean, we just take it from there. Anyway, with everything that's actually being exposed in the media about people who have used these types of, I guess you could say, operational security methods, but like for the worst effing reasons possible, then it kind of makes everybody else who's just using it to like you know, hide how much soda they buy a month. Like, you know, like, don't tell anyone I'm buying soda on the dark web, and it's not a code word, it's just literally collectible soda. Like Mr. Pip or something. What is it, Mr. Pibb? Whatever. So, like, you know, you have that, and then you have the people who are just like, let's just ruin privacy and security for everyone by being disgusting. Like, humanly disgusting to the core is what they did to privacy and security that we now have to recover with redeeming actions like, hey, did you know that your user datagram protocol, or user datagram profile at that point, is something that could be targeted by those people who maybe don't want you to survive having a computer at all, haha. It's kind of getting ridiculous. It's getting very ridiculous to me, as someone who has been on the internet since being a wee child at age 8, I guess. I think I can clock about age 7, and having, like, used my first Linux distro at, like, what, age 9 or some shit. Like, I'm just a little, like, breezed by what is happening here. She's like, oh, okay. It's like, what can you say at that point? You've seen plenty of excerpts of just about everything, and it's just like, okay, so, like, privacy, security, where are we, who's building, what are we doing? And, I mean, with respect to APT groups, it's like, they could just as easily turn the other way and be like, you know, I make a great job for myself as a technician of, like, undoing everything I just did. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think so too. You know, it's like that kind of thing is probably what's happening in a lot of circles now, because the risk of arrest is just way too high. And I mean, I come to my school, come to Academia Gothica, you and your malware friends, and just, you know, be better at life, and I'll help you. I'm here to reform the criminals into people who love themselves. Not for real, come hang out. We'll do port scans together, like for funsies. But we'll do them on people who actually deserve them, not just the people who would pay you for medical fraud. I'm amazed that this live has not been restricted yet, and on that note, I'm actually gonna hop offline. I love you all very much. I'll talk to you later.